class. We're here today to talk about how the Puritans influenced the New England colonies. This presentation is by me, myself, Robert Smith, and Joe Leonard. So, the Puritans. The Puritans were a group of Protestants, English Protestants. They usually came to North America in families and were wealthy elites from England. They escaped persecution from the church leadership and the king in England.
They are wealthy and successful business people, not typical farmers. We've read past in recent chapters that when a lot of people came over because they thought that it would be a great opportunity for farming, but here, like I said, not a lot of, there were a lot of farmers, but there were also a lot of businessmen because they came over and they knew that they could start new things such as government and stuff like that, which we'll get to as we go on. Multiple governors of the Massachusetts Bay colonies were Puritans as well, and obviously that's what we're here to talk to you about today and how they affected the colonies. And then they also decided to escape from England and come over to America in the 1620s.
I think that that right there is a good example of how they weren't farmers. They came in and they were really effective. For example, multiple Puritans were governors of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. That's not the typical farmer. A typical farmer can't be a governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. So they were influential.
It also shows how educated they were, which we'll get to. They grew a discontent towards the Church of England and wanted to purify it by eliminating every single shred of Catholic influence, and that's where the name Puritans came from. If you don't know what the word pure means, it means to make something almost new. You want to refresh it, so that's what they wanted to do. If you think of it that way, they wanted to refresh the Catholic branch because they felt like it was leading the wrong way, but that was just their belief.
They strived towards moral, religious, and social reforms. They stated that the Church of England had become a big reason why England was struggling in politics.
Puritanism still remains in New England until the 19th century, and it also still remains today, and such as schools in our government, voting, they started voting, but we're going to get to that as we go on, and we'll be able to further explain how they are still around.
That also shows how influential they were. That the things they created and formed in, they're still here until this day. That's very important. Education. So the first Puritans started the whole educational system that is still carried on today. And a great example would be the College of Harvard. One big thing is that they did not start the public school system, so don't get those two confused. They started colleges to educate their elite clergy, but after a while it spread on, got wider and wider, and then more and more clergy got educated. It was more wide, and more people could join the College of Harvard.
Which brings me to explaining 2 points. Now, we talked about how they didn't start public schools, but they started private schools. Now, think about it. They started private schools, and we attend a private school today. So, if they maybe did not start the private schools, we couldn't be here right now learning in this AP US history class. And another point is how we said here, the colleges were started to educate the elite clergymen. Remember how I said before how when they came over, they were also smart to begin with. Well, now they're coming over and they're getting the people who were educated over in England to educate them here, along with others who were educated over here already. And those are going to end up being the elite of the elite.
Harvard. Harvard was established on September 8th, 1636 by the Massachusetts Bay Colony Great and General Court. It is one of the 2 oldest schools in the world. The school's history has influenced the whole world. If you go around the world, people know what Harvard is. And it also has become one of the most